What's wrong with it? You've done a brilliant job, mate. Brilliant job. No one saw it coming. Not the loyal viewers, not the network, not even those who believed The Repair Shop was simply a gentle show about fixing old treasures. While audiences were watching joyful reunions and tearful restorations, something else was quietly breaking. Not an heirloom, but the calm, trusted image at the heart of it all. Most fans didn't realize that behind the scenes, tensions had begun to rise. Without warning, the BBC pulled certain episodes from rotation. Blades vanished from the spotlight. And in the middle of the storm, Steve Fletcher made a move no one expected, and it changed everything. The rise of The Repair Shop. It's hard to imagine British daytime television today without The Repair Shop. The show didn't arrive with a lot of noise, but it quietly carved out a space for itself and then expanded into a global phenomenon. Its origin story, its format, and the people behind it are all a big part of why it has become so beloved, not just in the UK, but around the world. The show first aired on BBC Two on March 27, 2017, and was produced by Ricochet Productions. From the beginning, it was a simple concept that focused on a team of expert restorers taking on worn or broken items of deep sentimental value. These weren't just random objects. They were often family heirlooms with decades of emotional history behind them, and most significantly, all of this was done at no cost to the owners. The filming location added even more charm. The series is shot at the Weald and Downland Living Museum in Singleton, West Sussex. The museum with its timber-framed buildings and peaceful rural setting gives the show a timeless and authentic atmosphere. It feels like the kind of place where time slows down and stories are preserved just as carefully as the items being restored. From the start, The Repair Shop distinguished itself through its tone. Each item was treated with patience, respect, and genuine curiosity. Viewers were invited into the process of both physical and emotional restoration, and the results were often deeply moving. Whether it was a broken clock passed down through generations or a tattered teddy bear that comforted someone through a difficult childhood, the stories behind each object gave the show its emotional backbone. By Series 4, the show had officially moved from BBC Two to BBC One, a sign of its growing popularity. The Repair Shop has produced 14 seasons and over 300 episodes, a major achievement for a show with such a niche format. It continues to draw millions of viewers with each new episode. And the show found its audience not just in the UK, but internationally. Spin-off versions have since launched in countries like Australia, the Netherlands, and Belgium. Each one adapting the format to their local audiences while keeping the same core values of care, craftsmanship, and connection. The program's quiet success didn't go unnoticed by critics or the public. In 2023, The Repair Shop won the National Television Award for Best Daytime Show, beating out longtime favorites. It wasn't just a win for the producers. It was a nod to how much the show had impacted its viewers. But what makes the show even more appealing are the experts themselves, craftsmen and women with decades of experience in their fields. Steve Fletcher, a master clock and watch restorer, comes from a long line of horologists. In fact, he's been working in the trade since he was just 16 years old, carrying on a family tradition that dates back to the 80s. He runs the Clock Workshop in Oxfordshire and has been part of The Repair Shop since it launched in 2017. Steve's the person people turn to when their old grandfather clock has stopped ticking or when a century-old barometer needs to be brought back to life. Over time, his calm demeanor, precision, and steady presence have made him a fan favorite. There's something soothing about watching Steve work. The way he disassembles complex mechanisms, cleans each tiny gear, and reassembles them with care. But while Steve Fletcher has been a constant on the show, there's no doubt that the most publicly recognizable figure from The Repair Shop is Jay Blades. Jay joined the show early on as a furniture restorer. With his flat cap, black-rimmed glasses, and laid-back East London charm, Jay quickly became the show's main presenter and in many ways its emotional core. Unlike Steve, who was already well established in his trade before joining the show, Jay's journey to The Repair Shop was not straightforward. In fact, his path to becoming one of Britain's most trusted TV personalities involved some of the most difficult personal struggles a person can go through. His past was filled with setbacks from financial hardship and academic struggles to mental health challenges that nearly derailed everything. So, how exactly did Jay Blades go from the brink of personal collapse to becoming the face of one of the most heartfelt shows on British television? What was he really going through behind the scenes? And what role did Steve Fletcher play in his journey? The personal battles of Blades. Blades may be known today as the warm, reassuring voice at the heart of the repair shop, but his journey to becoming a respected craftsman and beloved television personality was far from easy. Before the cameras, the applause, and the recognition, Jay faced obstacles that many fans never knew about, some of which he carried with him for the major part of his life. Jay was raised by his mother, Barbara, a hard-working woman who did everything she could to support Jay and his brother. Their household was a modest one, marked by financial hardship. Growing up without much money,